It's here, it's now, what we are looking for. God, reality is not somewhere up there in the sky, beyond the clouds, beyond the, the galaxy. It's here, now, in everything we experience. People live their life day to day, growing up, learning what to do, and then obediently do what they are told to do, how to live, what to do, how to be, how not to be. And most of the people are satisfied with that and go on their whole life long. But then some people wonder, what is the point in all this? So is there any sense going through all this? And start to look whether they can find sense somewhere. Sooner or later stumble upon spirituality. And there we are told the whole thing makes sense. We can make much more out of our life than just growing up, earning money, having family, accumulating possessions, growing old, dying. But then along with the spirituality come all kinds of concepts. And some concepts are very useful. Then we hear about enlightenment. We hear about self-realization. I remember when I was 14 and stumbled upon yoga, and then get in connection with a very good yoga school in Zurich, in Switzerland. Suddenly, it seemed like a ray of light that came. Yes, maybe there is a point in the whole story. And then that concept of striving for self-realization, for enlightenment, became like a guiding star. I had to go through all kinds of experiences until 11 years later I came to India and still was directed by that idea, enlightenment, self-realization. On the way, I learned all kinds of concepts, what it is, and then categories of enlightenment, self-realization, God realization, Brahma realization. Eventually, on my way, it was time to drop all the concepts, not more have imaginations. When things started to happen, it happened so totally different from whatever I expected. And it became clear, all these concepts, they had their purpose, they were inspiring, they gave a good direction. But as long as we think, because of having learned those concepts, we have understood what's going on, we have understood what is about to happen, what should happen, then we are caught in the cage of that concept on an intellectual level. It's time then that we let them go. And we just bring the attention back to that awareness, that immediate experience of I'm here, I'm conscious, I'm alive. And learn to focus on that. Or focus on devotion to God. Because when we bring the attention back to that sense of presence through self-inquiry or through learning to feel and to balance out, to harmonize the life energy, the prana, that sense of presence that we are experiencing, that there is that same sense of presence that we can experience when we are worshipping God and start more and more to feel that divine presence. And then it's good to let go of all ideas, of all concepts, to just stay with that and learn, have a good look at ourselves, learn what is preventing us. Learn from our own experience to see how we are always creating obstacles. Learn not to do that anymore. And then just stay with that and be open and let the experience unfold. And hanging on at that point to the concepts, to all the descriptions, to whatever we have learned is more of an obstacle than a help. Now I'm talking about this because Mariam asked me what this is all about, because a friend told her there is self-realization and there is God-realization, and Ramana Maharshi, he was only self-realized, he was not God-realized. So Mariam, don't get any confusion because of that, because that friend of yours, she is definitely talking from her learned knowledge. The school she connects with has that hierarchy. And so she has ideas what means what, and then starts to have those drawers, and from the words, from the indications, puts people in drawers, and there they are. It doesn't make any sense. Self-realization, God-realization, it's the same essence, becoming aware that there is something that is prior to time and space, that has no limits, that defies all understanding and descriptions. So if we hear such things, we need not take them serious. If for that person this is helpful to hold on to those concepts, fine. Then maybe that is inspiring them to do their practice faithfully. They have learned in their school. Eventually, it would be better for them also to drop it, but it's not necessary that we go into discussions. I mean, Ramana Maharshi was so way beyond all understanding to try to put him like this in a drawer and bag him like this. This is complete nonsense. We need not get confused because of that. The experience, how this develops, will be different from one to another in its own unique, beautiful way. Draw inspiration from the great lives of Mahatmas like Ramana Maharshi, like Sri Ramakrishna, like other great Mahatmas and yogis we hear about, we read about, we are being told about. Draw inspiration, but don't think that we can understand exactly where they are, what they are. If through their teaching it helps us to open the heart and connect, then that teaching has done its purpose. And we need not start to make in our head hierarchies of them, because anyone who is pure in heart and connects with that unfathomable reality, and if they're in that connection, they talk something very beautiful, flows through them, and we can draw inspiration and direction from them, but not take the words too literally, usually, but just connect with the space where the words are coming from, and then we can forget about all these kind of concepts like self-realization and God-realization. There is a difference between the Mahatmas, self-realized or God-realized or Brahma-realized. Just come back home to the source, to the essence, to that sense of being here now, consciously alive, and stay with that as good as we can, and let the experience of it unfold in its own unique beauty, without trying to shape our experience according to things that we have learned, thinking this has to happen, that has to happen. If I'm experiencing this, I'm at that state, at that level. If I'm experiencing that, I'm at another level. In the beginning, usually this is inspiring, but we can let that go. We don't need to hang on to that. It's here, it's now, what we are looking for. God, reality is not somehow, somewhere up there in the sky, beyond the clouds, beyond the, the galaxy. It's here, now, in everything you experience, with every breath. That divine essence is active, here, now. Let's just bring the attention back to that. Every smell we smell, every taste we taste, every sound we hear, every thought we think, every emotion we feel is there because this divine essence is here now. We don't have to go look out somewhere for that. It's always in that timelessness of the present. That's where you have to put the attention, and then just be open. We can make an effort to bring the attention back home. As long as it's going out, getting lost in the story, in the past, in the future, in our daydreams, in our castles that we are building in our mind, then that effort is necessary to catch the attention, see what's happening, and bring it back home, and then just be in touch with that consciously and open. That's all we can do. That's much we somehow have to do. And then we can forget about all concepts of it. Just let that experience unfold in its own unique beauty.